privacy champion, Mr. Warren Davidson from Ohio, for 3 minutes.
I thank the gentleman for yielding time. I think it's important that we solve the right problem. The gentleman from New Jersey, who isn't actually opposed to the bill, seems to have identified the real issue, which is data privacy. So I think it's important that we solve the correct problem. Our problem is all these companies, social media, otherwise, your car, your phone, you name it, it's surveillance. The spying that goes on to American citizens does need to be addressed, and it should be addressed by the Energy and Commerce Committee. I've long pleaded with members of both sides of the aisle to pass H.R. 4 to reclaim the privacy rights that are so deeply infringed in our country. And by avoiding that problem, we take away the energy and momentum to address the root issue. Frankly, the people sponsoring this bill today claim that the real issue is ownership. But who owns this company? It's not 100% owned by ByteDance. 60% of it's owned by investors, including American investors. 20% are owned by the founders, and 20% are owned by employees, over 7,000 employees. The company's headquarters is not in China, it's in Singapore, and the American user data isn't housed in China, it's housed in Texas, controlled by a database owned by Oracle. The administration seems to believe that they can ban the export of Americans' sensitive data, not just on TikTok, but on all platforms, because they just issued an executive order banning the export. Now, I wish this was the bill that Pramila Jayapal and I have sponsored, that we were moving. The Fourth Amendment's not for sale, past judiciary, but its complement to prevent foreigners from buying it would also address the privacy concerns. So if we think we can address the privacy concerns, what's left to address? Frankly, content moderation. Remember before Elon Musk bought the crime scene at Twitter? It was all a conspiracy theory that these algorithms were silencing and canceling people. You guys are crazy. No, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he did keep it operating with 80% fewer employees, but what we found is a lot of the employees were trying to do content moderation, shape who sees what and how they see it, which algorithms are used, how does it promote certain people and filter others. So really what you're saying here is if you're not fully engaged with America's three-letter agencies in content moderation, we plan to TikTok you. And this bill isn't just limited to TikTok. It's a coercive power that can be applied to others. Apps like Telegram, Tor, things that provide privacy would be targeted by this bill. Perhaps Tether, one of the things that they can't control as a monetary system. And when you look at companies, if it enables one user to see content that isn't approved, it's subject to a $500 fine per user. 500 million. 30 seconds? 36. So this is meant to be able to take out anything, including email, where it's one user sees it. So it could target an infinite number of companies, but not an infinite number of places. And so for that, I do applaud the work that was done to back off from the dystopian Restrict Act. But this is essentially a down payment on the Restrict Act. The Restrict Act, I encourage everyone to look it up. But this is what the administration really wanted to do, what members of Congress on both sides of the aisle wanted to do, is to create a bigger surveillance state. And that's what the Intel Committee wants to do with
Gentleman's
FISA,
time has expired.
Is bigger. We have to shrink it and protect Fourth Amendment right to privacy. I yield.
Reserve.